Mimi siwezi kujua chochote mama. Mama mimi sikunakumbuka hata siku ile unapata. Guys. Guys, this is Jonas. You already know him since yesterday. Yeah, he's the doctor of the group and also a guy. Also, yeah. Also, we have Simon.
Hey!
Simon!
He's a guy.
Hey!
Hey!
Hey! One team!
One dream.
One team!
One
Say
dream.
one team! One team!
One dream!
One dream!
One dream!
Non-stop! Up to the top! Non-stop!
Up to the top!
So guys, we also have Dula. He's also a guy. We also have Shafi. Yeah, he's also a guy. We also have a very important person on the trip. We call him Mr. Stomach Engineer. His name is Emmanuel.
Emmanuel!
Also, we've got his assistant, chef. His name is Roger.
Roger!
Yeah, we also have the famous singer with us. His name is Sam.
Sam! One dream!
One team!
One dream!
One dream!
One dream!
Yeah, we also have the best dancer on Kilimanjaro. His name is Mugo. Hey, Kili!
We're at the Morongo Gate where we just ate lunch, and man, I needed that. Big push of energy for me. We're just in preparation to leave here in probably the next 10 minutes. The porters have already headed up ahead of us with all of our gear on their backs, covered in tarps just in case it rains, and I suppose we'll catch up with them later. But interesting lunch. We actually sat and ate with two gentlemen that did not make the final ascent, and they described the experience for us, gave us a lot more of what they wish they had done a little bit better, more water, better sleep, but honestly not super inspiring to sit and listen to somebody's failure story. right, we're ready for day 2 climb. Actually had a pretty good night. The accommodations here are actually a lot nicer than what we anticipated. We had really good hut, bunk beds, steel bunk beds and pads. They even had pillows in there, and so really great accommodations. We've got our porters here behind us that are going to do all the hard work for us today, carrying up our packs, and they're just getting ready to go and head out ahead of us. We're headed towards the Hurambo hut. Today will be about 8 miles. We'll ascend about 3,200 feet. Obviously take us around 6 hours, they tell us to do all of that.
Wageni wetu wanameremeta wamepambwa maua.
So we made it to the end of day 2. We're here at the Hurambo hut, just over 12,000 feet. Today for me was a day about gear. We went through a lot of different weather. It got hot for a while when the sun was out, threatened rain, and we had to change there. Now that we're here, it's a little bit cooler and had to pull out the jackets.
Okay, the first hike on Kilimanjaro was successfully done in 18th century, and this was done in 1889. At the beginning, we had Germany who tried it in 1882, and he did not make it. So he came back in 1887 and tried it again, and also he did not make it. And finally, he came in 1889 with a guide known as Johanna Lauo Teleki, and they successfully made it all the way to the top. They come a lot of circumstances because it takes them more than 40 days to walk from the Marangu gate all the way to the top of Kilimanjaro and coming back. They really have a difficult situation because they have to go and mark the trail, and they have to go higher and climb higher and come and sleep low. So they'll have a lot of days to acclimatize, as well as they also have to send so many resupplies of food. So people have to go back, bring food, because it was difficult to stay on the mountain for 40 days with the same kind of food. So they did a lot of resupply. It takes about 200 and 250 people in the crew to support Johanna Teleki Lauo, the guide, and the Hans Meyer to walk from the beginning of Marangu Gate all the way to the base camp of Kibo. And then it takes about 9 guides, one chief guide and 8 assistant guides who support Johanna Lauo from the base camp all the way to the top of Kilimanjaro. So in 1889, Johanna Lauo and the Hans Meyer, the German geography and soldier, to conquer the peak of Kilimanjaro successfully and keep a history of the first European to conquer the highest part of the roof of Africa, Kilimanjaro, Uhuru Peak.
Well, we made it to Kibo Hut. We covered about 6.5 miles, over 3,200 feet. We're currently sitting at 15,200 feet. Feeling pretty good about where we're going to be tomorrow. We only have a few hours until we have to wake up at midnight and set out in the dark of night in the very, very cold to go see if we can make it to the summit. So here's hoping that we do. Next stop, Uhuru Peak, and then we'll descend back down the 5.7 miles that we covered and change clothes and then head down another almost 12. And so we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So I was feeling really strong the first couple of days, and on the summit was feeling really good, and then just really got surprised by how sick I got. And so many of you went above and beyond and took care of me very, very, very well, and had so much compassion. And so I thank you for all that you did to help me get back down, and all the care that you've shown me since I got sick. Thank you very much.
We appreciate each and every one of you, and thanks for your cooperation. Thanks for being open to us. Thanks for your stories. Thanks for all that we share on the mountain. This is a very good memory also for us.
Ni mbali tumetoka, tumeona wema wako, na sasa tunasema wewe nimepeneza. Ni mbali tumetoka, tumeona wema wako, na sasa tunasema wewe nimepeneza. Ni mbali tumetoka, tumeona wema wako, na sasa tunasema wewe nimepeneza.
Jonas!
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Lucas. Roger. Huyo ni nani? Kapewa nini?
Kapewa toyo.
Kapewa nini?
Kapewa toyo.
No, that's a special photo. Yeah. Kapewa nini?
Kapewa toyo.
Sam. Huyo ni nani?
Huyo ni Samu.
Huyo ni nani?
Huyo ni Samu.
Kapewa nini?
Kapewa toyo.